Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us on the TradeXchange News and Analyst Ratings webinar. We are the TradeXchange. This is information that is typically provided for our members and subscribers in the TradeXchange Forum and Squawk services. We are built for traders by traders, and frequently we get asked questions about news and analyst ratings and how traders interpret this type of information. And so we wanted to provide a little bit of knowledge of what type of information you'll be seeing with respect to news and analyst ratings, and really how to begin to digest all that information. And briefly, who are we? We're a research team of analysts, technologists, traders. And what do? We supply research in the form of technical and fundamental knowledge to traders and active investors. So obviously, this information, as it's being digested by various traders, each trader is different. Each trader has a subjective viewpoint, and there's certainly many ways to approach this type of knowledge, specifically when it comes to news and analyst ratings. And so let's dive right in here. So what is a news trader? A news trader monitors information that may impact price movement and volume spikes. Each trader decides on whether or not to participate in the trade. Not every news item will be enticing to a particular trader, and certainly each trader really needs to understand the implication of the news item, whatever it may be. And then so we'll dive right into this. So some definitions on what you will see in and here in the TradeXchange Forum and here in the TradeXchange Squawk. So frequently you'll see D/G. What is that? That's a downgrade. It's an analyst downgrade of a particular security, and we're highlighting that for you. Upgrade, a reverse of that, obviously, is U/G's upgrade when an analyst ratings increases their ratings, for example, from a sell rating to a buy rating, or market perform to an outperform. And INIT initiates a particular firm, a research firm, or a brokerage firm begins to cover that particular security. And so we let you know about that information. Typically, you'll see color. The word color, and what does color mean? So if a particular headline moves through the forum, or you hear that in the Squawk, we provide a little bit of a color, a little bit of a depth on the information. And so that's what quote unquote color means. If you see weakness, continued downside move, basically strength, inverse of that is continued upside move. So for example, if we provide some information on a particular news item, whether it was chatter or we'll get into that in a moment, and if you see continued strength on that particular news, you will we'll report on that. There's upward momentum or continued upward momentum in that particular security. Moving on here. So analyst opinions. What are analyst opinions? It is based on research opinions. It is based on a group of analysts in a particular organization. It could be a brokerage firm. It could be a boutique type analyst firm that really covers, perhaps it's biotech specialists or any other technology or any other sector that they're covering. So what you look at is what's the analyst historical impact on the security. So a little bit of a due diligence on that on part of the traders. What is the opinion of the analyst compared to the peers in the industry? So is the analyst going against the grain a bit here? And that's something that's really important. Also, is it a notable analyst? Is it somebody who's known on the street, and that'll have a bigger impact on that particular information? And so again, not just brokerage firms. First, for the research, there's many companies out there that conduct research on particular securities. So news headlines, what will you see? You'll see upgrades, downgrades, and obviously those are DG, UG, INIT in terms of initiates. You'll see a research firm, financial institution, issue an opinion on a stock. They'll issue an opinion on a stock, increasing or decreasing their rating. Really, the question is, are they first, quote unquote, are they first to the party? Are they first to begin to increase the rating on a particular security? Or are they basically ninth in line in downgrading a particular security? So that may not have an impact on that. And that's something that you really want to keep an eye on. And what will the market reaction be to that particular rating, whether it's upgrade, downgrade, initiate, and what is the commentary, more importantly, or as important, in addition to the upgrade and downgrade? What's that color? What's that color behind, more information behind that particular analyst action? So daily schedules, right? So typically in the morning, you'll see in the forum, and you'll hear at 7, typically we begin around 6 a.m. with analyst downgrades, upgrades, and initiates. We'll run through at 7 a.m. you'll hear a pre-market overview. And again, at 8 a.m. you'll hear a breakdown of the top upgrades, downgrades, and initiates. And throughout the trading day, you'll see sporadic analyst commentary on particular securities. And we provide that information throughout the day, both in the forum and additionally in the Squawk services. You will see an increased activity with respect to upgrades and downgrades initially during earnings season. Typically, a company will report. Next day or two, you'll see particular analyst actions after that particular earnings report, whether it depends on the earnings, whether they beat, whether they missed, in line, and also the commentary after the earnings. And you'll see that adjustments of ratings on those stocks. And that's as we're currently in earnings season, taking a little bit of a time check, we'll see a little bit of an increase in that type of activity. So you'll also see news headlines. So at times you'll see particular social media based information. You'll see a particular tweet. Maybe it's a Jim Cramer. Maybe it's another analyst. Maybe various type of information. You'll see a Twitter handle in the content of the tweet. So that means a single tweet may have an impact on an equity's price movement and volume. Maybe it's a Doug Cass commenting on the more macro type markets. You'll also see, in terms of news, geopolitical and economic news in the forum and the Squawk. And this may be perhaps chatter of OPEC meetings, just as an example. So this means that, in this particular case, let's use that as an example. This means that a OPEC meeting is currently being circulated around trading desks. A trader will understand that such information may impact oil and underlying equities in the oil industry. So that's something to keep an eye on. And futures traders and day traders really keep an eye on that type of information. So, quote unquote, chatter. What is chatter? At times we get questions about that. So don't call it a rumor, quote unquote. Take it for what it's worth. It's information that's being circulated, whether it's social media based, whether it's trading desk based. Take it for what it's worth. You'll see a volume surge and you'll see price action. And the price action can be to the downside, but you'll definitely see a volume surge, and it's rather immediate. And it can be rather violent in terms of very fast action based on that quote unquote chatter information. Then you'll also see verbiage such as quote unquote going around desks or being passed around desks. So what does this mean? It means conversations around institutional desks, hedge funds, trading firms. It may not be as fast action as quote unquote the chatter, but you will see some volume spikes and price action, again, both to the upside and the downside. And additionally, as information is being dispersed to greater and more desks, the greater the potential move. So it's a really interesting phenomenon, and we really provide information on that as well. So you will see that throughout both the forum and hear that in the Squawk. You'll also hear and see volume surges. Maybe it's a volume pop or down, indication of a volume spike or down, coincides with price action. And what's the underlying reasons? We talked about in other webinars, price option activity, insider transactions. Maybe it's a downgrade, upgrade, initiate on a particular security, or in the previous two examples, it could be chatter, or it could be particular notes being passed around desks that are impacting these particular volume surges. And also, volume indicators will report on volume weakness, volume strength, meaning the stock is continuing to, in volume weakness example, the stock is continuing its decline along with volume. Inverse would be volume strength, meaning volumes coming in as the stock is increasing in price. So there's price action along with volume. And you'll also see something called small volume pops, meaning it can be temporary. It may not have much price action, but again, you'll see a bit of a volume coming into the security. A few caveats on this. So alerts on volume, it's an indication of volume. Obviously, take it for what it's worth. It does not mean to immediately take the position, or if you're new to this type of information, discover it a little bit, watch it for a few days, see what kind of impact it has, what impact it has on the particular equity with respect to the information. It's also just an indication that provides volume spikes. It can be a higher move, it could be a lower move. And really the final caveat here is different traders approach this differently. A trader may take the reverse of a particular chatter information, and also scalpers are able to get into a trade and exit rather quickly. It depends what kind of trader you are, so you really need to identify yourself and understand what kind of trader you are to be able to trade on this type of information. In terms of questions, we encourage you to email us and ask questions, and certainly participate. We're available in the forum for questions. There's at TX_support, and you'll find us in that member list. Feel free certainly to reach out to us, or certainly email us at TradeXchange@TradeXchange.com. Always available on the phone as well at 203-939-1250. So thank you for joining us. As you know, this is available as a recording. Thank you for joining us. This has been the TradeXchange News and Analyst Ratings webinar that you'll see in the TradeXchange forum and Squawk service. We are built for traders by traders. Thank you for joining us, and have a great evening.